Welcome back to the Bad Influence Podcast, where we show you how to be the real you without being ashamed. I'm the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas. And let me ask you something. How many of you have felt the pressure to fit in? You know what I'm talking about. You're changing the way you talk, the way you act, and even the way you think just to be accepted. I've done it. And I see a lot of people do it right now. They're doing it right now. They're doing it in their houses, their homes, their schools, their jobs, everywhere. But let me tell you straight up, that's the fastest way to bury yourself alive. Fitting in isn't just keeping you stuck. It's holding you back from becoming the badass you were meant to be. Oh yes, that's exactly what it's doing. So today, we're going to talk about the trap of fitting in. It starts young, doesn't it? You get told how to behave, what's appropriate, and pretty soon you're not even sure who the hell you are anymore. But here's the problem with that. You're not living for yourself. You're living for others. And guess what? This is where I want to literally drill into your head right now. That is one way ticket to frustration, anxiety, and staying mediocre. If you're listening right now, I want you to stay locked in because by the end of this episode, you're going to realize why trying to fit in is killing your potential and exactly how to break out of that box, just like I did. This episode is for you if you've ever felt like you're not being true to yourself. It's for you if you're tired of keeping your mouth shut, of dimming your light, or pretending to be something you're not just to make other people happy. Today, we're breaking the chains, we're tearing down masks, and we're getting real about what's holding you back from unleashing your true self. Here's the problem with trying to fit in. It forces you to wear a mask every single day. You're pretending to be someone you're not because you think that's what's expected of you. And that constant pretending, it's exhausting. It's so tiring, it literally keeps you down because you're so tired of it. You're living a life that's not even yours. You're walking around trying to meet everyone else's expectations and you're forgetting about your own expectations. You should have your own expectations for your life. Like for example, never giving up. That's an expectation of mine. Always learning. An expectation of mine. Things like that. Those are the expectations that you should have. Something that pushes you to the next level. Not something that keeps you down, that literally prevents you from moving up in life. And let me tell you, when you're constantly trying to fucking please others, you lose touch with your own desires and your own voice. You lose your edge. Think about it. How can you be truly creative, truly bold, or truly you if you're always second guessing yourself because you're worried about what others think? That's a good question. And again, I want to hear your answer. I always want to hear your answer because I want to see how you're doing. What are you thinking? What's keeping you stuck in a place where you don't need to be? And here's my answer to that question. The truth is, you can't. You can't be you if you're expecting someone else's opinion to take over your own opinion, right? And that's why fitting in is so dangerous. It holds you back from your real potential. It keeps you stuck in this loop where you're afraid to step out of line, afraid to disrupt the status quo. This problem runs deep, way too deep right now. This is not what we need right now in our society. It's not just about peer pressure or societal expectations. It's about the fear of being judged, the fear of rejection, and the fear of failure. But here's what people don't tell you. Every time you choose to fit in, you're rejecting yourself. Every time you choose to play small, you're failing to show the world what you're truly capable of. And that, my friends, is the real failure that society is dealing with right now. Let me tell you a story about when I was stuck in this same trap. Years ago, when I was working at a corporate job at Select Portfolio Servicing, that company sucks. I felt the pressure to be someone I wasn't. Every day, I'd show up to the office and I put up on this persona, someone who was more quiet, more polite, more corporate than I really was. I toned down my energy. I avoided saying what I really thought. And I tried to fit the mold. I thought if I played by the rules, I'd get ahead. I thought if I fit in, I'd succeed. But guess what? It didn't work. It did not work for me. Instead of feeling more accepted, I felt miserable. I wasn't happy. I wasn't being myself. And the people I was trying so hard to impress, they didn't even notice. They didn't care. They didn't give a shit. I was sacrificing my authenticity for approval that never came. And let me tell you something. Nothing feels worse than knowing you're betraying yourself for people who don't even see you. But one day, I hit my breaking point. Everybody has a breaking point. And at one point, you're going to reach that, and either it's going to keep you stuck, or it's going to literally make you run for that breakthrough that you need in life. In my case, I remember thinking, why the hell am I doing this? This isn't me. That's when I decided to stop trying to fit in. I started speaking up more, sharing my real opinions, and being unapologetically myself. And you know what happened? Everything changed. People started noticing me, not because I was blending in, but because I was standing out. I was real. I was authentic. And that's what people connect with that authenticity. That's the lesson I learned. And this literally happened a few years ago. I also learned that you don't succeed by fitting in. You succeed by standing out. You succeed by being so damn true to yourself that people can't help but notice. And when you stop chasing approval and start owning who you are, that's when the doors start opening. Let's dig into the psychology behind this, because there's research behind this, and again, psychology backs this up. Why do we feel the need to fit in? That's a great question. Again, I want to hear your answer in the comments, because a lot of people have different opinions about this particular questions, so I want to hear your opinion. But in this case, it starts when we're kids, doesn't it? It starts very young, way too young sometimes. We're taught to follow the rules, to be normal, to fit a certain mold. Our parents, teachers, and society pushes us to conform because that's the safe route. It's easier to manage a bunch of people who all act the same. And we carry that with us into adulthood. But here's the thing. Those rules, they're not designed to help you thrive. They're designed to keep you in line. And while there's nothing wrong with learning discipline and respect, which is something that you need to learn, it becomes a problem when you start losing yourself in the process. The moment you start shutting down your true self just to fit into society's box, you're doing yourself a fucking disservice. It's not gonna help you, and it's not gonna move you to the next level. It's not going to open doors for you. Maybe it will open doors for you, but you're gonna have to kiss a lot of ass. You're gonna be brown nosing your entire life. Now, you see, here's the problem. This is where psychology takes over in regards to this issue. Our brains are wired to seek belonging. Yes, they are. Again, there's research behind this. We want to be part of the tribe. It's a survival instinct, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your individuality. You can belong and still be different. You can connect with people without losing yourself. But that takes courage. It takes the willingness to stand out even when it feels uncomfortable. That's the mental shift you need to make. Instead of trying to fit in, you need to embrace your uniqueness, the thing that makes you different. That thing, or those things, because there's a lot of people that have multiple things that makes them different. Those are your strengths. Those are the things that set you apart and make you valuable. When you stop trying to fit in, you start playing to your real strengths. And that's when you start winning. All right. So, how do you break free from this trap? That's a good question. How do you stop trying to fit in and start living authentically? Another great question. I have been asked this before. That's why I'm using those questions. It starts with self-awareness. I know. Self-awareness is hard for a lot of people because they don't want to feel their emotions. They don't want to feel pain. They don't want to feel sadness. They don't want to feel all these negative emotions. They don't want to feel bad, pretty much. But you've got to recognize when you're putting on that mask. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's true to me or because I'm trying to please someone else? If it's the latter, that's your red flag. That's your cue to stop and reevaluate. The next step is to start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. That will put a lot of anxiety on you, and that will never happen. Like, there's no magic wand that you can just be like, ba-dan! And then the next day, your whole life is completely different, right? No, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. So stop thinking that way. Start by making small changes. Speak your mind in a meeting. Wear that outfit that makes you feel like a boss or like a boss lady. Say no to something you don't actually want to do. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you're building that muscle. You're getting stronger. And here's a big one. A lot of people won't like this. And that is completely okay. Learn to be okay with rejection. Not everyone is going to like you. No. I don't know why people think that they should be liked by everyone. Because in the end, they're under a lot of pressure. They put on so many masks and then they crack. They have mental breakdowns. So here's the thing. And I want you to understand this. I want you to listen to this as many times as you need to. Not everyone is going to understand you. And that's okay. The people who matter, the ones who are meant to be in your life, will respect you more for being true to yourself. And the rest, the people that don't get you, that reject you, that pretty much don't see you, they're not your people, and that's fine. You don't need everyone's approval to be successful. You just need to be true to yourself. Finally, surround yourself with people who celebrate your individuality. Find your tribe, the people who love you for who you really are. When you have a strong support system, it becomes easier to stand out, to be bold, and to live authentically. When you stop trying to fit in, a few amazing things start to happen. First, which I think is the most important one, you feel free. There's a sense of liberation that comes from not giving a fuck about what others think. You're not weighed down by their expectations, and that freedom allows you to explore new opportunities, try new things, and grow in ways you never thought possible. Second, you attract the right people. When you're being yourself, you naturally draw in people who appreciate you for who you are. These are the people who will support you, uplift you, and help you grow. And guess what? You start building deeper, more meaningful relationships because they're based on authenticity, not pretense. Third, this is important as well. Your confidence skyrockets. When you stop trying to fit in and start standing out, you realize just how powerful you are. You are no longer hiding your light. You're shining it to the world. You're shining it for the world to see. And that kind of confidence, it's magnetic. It opens doors, it creates opportunities, and it propels you towards success. And finally, you start living a life that's true to you. No more playing small, no more settling. You start pursuing the things that light you up, the things that matter to you, not to everyone else. And that's where real fulfillment comes from. Not from fitting in, but from being unapologetically you. So here's the deal for today's episode. Trying to fit in is holding you back. It's keeping you small and it's keeping you quiet. It's keeping you from becoming the person you were meant to be. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I want you to understand that. You can break free. You can choose to live authentically, boldly, and unapologetically. Start today. Start by taking off that mask and stepping into your true self. Speak up. Stand out. Be the person you were born to be, not the person society tells you to be. Because in the end, it's not gonna bring you anything good. It's gonna bring you anxiety, depression, all these negative emotions. But I can tell you this, it won't be easy. But damn, it will be worth it. Because when you stop trying to fit in, you start discovering what you're truly capable of. You start seeing yourself as the badass that you are. You start seeing yourself as someone who's a learner, someone who's smart, someone who never gives up. You see strength in yourself that you didn't even know you had. And that's pretty much what happened with me. And that's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to experience. Because it changed my fucking life. And it can change yours. So just go out there. Try these steps. Change them. Tweak them. Make them work for you. And always be yourself. Don't try to fit in any longer. Speak up. Say what you gotta say in that meeting. Tell your boss, your partner, how you're feeling. Speak up. Be you. Be bold. And build the life that you want. Because in the end, you deserve that life. If you work for it, and you believe you can do it, it won't matter if you fit in or not, because you're going to create the life that you've been looking for, the life that you actually want to create. And that's it for today. If this episode lit a fire in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, don't let the pressure to fit in hold you back from your greatness. You were made to stand out. Until next time, this is Bjordan Banderas, and you've been listening to the Bad Influence Podcast. Go out there and shake things up and have a great day.